I'm going to show you something that changed my life when it came to using Claude. And no, I'm not a tech person like a developer. I don't have any experience in software engineering. I am learning AI and learning to build as a mom of two. And I'm going to show you something that has literally been game changing for my Claude Code, and something that I learned by accident, guys, that literally is so easy to do. Now, I will add this though. This is for people that use Claude Code in Terminal. And if you would like to know how to do that, because it's not hard, guys, we can figure it out together. We just have to be willing to learn and ask questions. Let me know and I will do a tutorial on that too. I have been using Claude Code in Terminal and found it so easy, a little bit quicker as well than using the Claude Code app, like desktop app. But yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so I was like, I need to learn more about AI, and I went on to Chip Ewan and I bought her AI engineering book. And I was like, I'm just going to suss out her website. And then I saw it had this good AI list. And I was like, what is this? So this is an AI open source projects and developers, right? Insane, guys. This has got some really cool stuff. So this is the first one that I used. Obviously, it was just like a file. And I was like, what's this do? So I clicked on here and it's Andre Karpathy skills, right? So basically it's Claude Code guidelines. So this is obviously the post that Andre spoke about. The model makes wrong assumptions on your behalf and just runs along without checking. This is what I was talking about in the previous point. This is all the things it doesn't do, overcomplicates code and APIs, bloats instructions, doesn't clean up dead code, implements a bloated construction over 1,000 lines when 100 would do. And I was like, okay, this is hard for someone with absolutely no coding experience whatsoever. How do I make this work? And again, this was stuff I read on Reddit. So I found this, and obviously it's a set of principles that he puts into the Claude MD file, which is just like a reminder. So every time you open your project, your Claude MD file is like the brain with all the information. So you don't have to update or remind Claude every time you open it. It's like, hey, this project is about so-and-so. So for example, my file will be like, hey, this is for content flow. It has, this is what it does. This is where everything's stored. Like I would have everything. And he's created something that then is this same idea where it adds this into Claude to remind it how to work. Like it gives it like a frame. And the reason I did this was because I was obviously concerned about all these issues and didn't know how to figure that out. So I put this one in first. And then the second one that I did was this one. Now, this one has been by far my absolute favorite because he gives you like this plan, production grade engineering skills. I was like, that sounds like something I need because I don't have it. And it goes through the different workflow. And then it gives you the commands that you would use in Terminal to use it. And the reason that I love this so much is because it's helped me plan out features so much better. It asks you questions, helps you get clear on what you're trying to build before it codes so that it doesn't go rogue on you and create things or break other things or whatever the situation is. And that's why I've used this one. And then, to be honest, the only thing, which is like a proper beginner learning curve thing, I made the assumption that this was like automatic. It's not. You have to use each one. So you spec something first and you go plan, then you go build, then you go test, and you do all of that so that it all works, and then review, which is really cool. So it basically goes through that whole process. So if you build a feature, you'd be like, okay, spec it. So let's talk about it. Then you've got to go, okay, plan it. It'll break it up into little things, then build it, and then test it, review it, simplify it, ship it. And obviously, from what I understand, this is like quite a well-known developer. Again, complete beginner here, please. So don't get offended by me saying that. But again, I found it on the good AI list. And I was like, yes, where did I find it? It was just here. Yes, it was this one. So great. And I was like, okay, like this looks pretty good. And again, if you're a developer and you're looking at this and you're like, there's better, or like, this is how I would do it, please let me know, because I'm so down to hear anything that can improve Claude and what it's doing. But so far, as a beginner, for someone who's building with no experience, this has been amazing. And he breaks it all down. Like seriously, all the information is here. So I've been keeping this up as I use it. And then as I use it, look, I'm literally using it right now. So I want to show you how this actually worked. So then what I did was I had recognized an issue, and we'd had sort of spoken about it through Claude already. Like I've already gone through it with Claude. So I'm like, okay, it specs the whole thing. So it gets an idea of what the specifications of it are. And then it'll actually ask you questions, right? It writes out the spec. And then I was like, okay, give it all this stuff. It talks about it. And then you go, let's plan it, right? Once I've read everything and made sure it's right. And then it planned it so good. Now, this one's still going because it was big, but like literally, look at that. This is not something that Claude Code does by itself. You'd have to prompt it and be like, give me this, this, and this. So that's the whole point of putting this into it and using it, because this amazing developer has already done this. So we can actually use this to make our Claude code better for us based on someone who's got amazing skills. So this is this has been game changing for my work. Things have been built better. They've not broken as often. I feel like it's clearer. And one thing I've also learned, which I knew, but I avoided anyways, with Claude Code, anything that you do needs to be small changes. Okay. So bit by bit, this is why we're working on one fix. I am a serial tab builder. And then I've noticed that it gets confusing when Claude tries to commit things because it's sending different code and some, one window's working on one code, one's working on another. So that's something I'm learning. But nonetheless, this has been a game-changing, simple step that we can do if we use Claude Code in terminal and we want to improve the way it codes. This, guys, so good. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to share those in the description below. If this is something that you would use, go ahead. And if you want a tutorial on how to use Claude Code in terminal, let me know, because I'm so happy to do that as a beginner. I feel like it's much quicker. It's actually super easy to use when you get used to it. And it's really not that intimidating when you start using it. I found Claude Code to use the app is actually slower. And it actually, for some reason, feels slower on my computer as well. Yeah. So thanks for listening. I hope you found that little trick helpful. I feel like it's really changed the way that I have used Claude Code, and I feel like it's really improved my process and also helped me to get things working a bit better. I felt like before this, Claude was really imagining it was bloating code, but also it wasn't always following through with features. It was getting a bit I don't know, it just wasn't following through with instructions. This one's really good because it makes me spec out everything. It asks me really good questions. We get really clear on what we're doing. I feel like in more detail than without this. And with the Claude plan, I feel like for me, this, it does it a little bit better. But yeah, I hope it helped. And remember to comment. Let me know what's going on in your AI world. I'd love to know what you're building or any questions that you have. And I will catch you in the next video.